This is the Horse Radio Network. The Stable Scoop Radio Show, Episode 1. Who are we and why are we here?
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They'll bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for the Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. The Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. Welcome to the introductory episode of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. The Stable Scoop Radio Show is part of the Horse Radio Network and can be found online at horseradionetwork.com.
You can also go directly to the Stable Scoop Radio Show at stablescoops.com. Hey, Helena, it's so good to be on the air with you again.
Oh, same here, Glenn. Boy, did I miss recording.
It's been a long time. I know. It's been, about a year since we were on the Talking Equine Network.
Has it been that long?
I think it has. I think it's been about a year.
Well, that was a year too long. It's good to be back on the air and chatting about horses again.
So I think there'll be some people very happy to hear us back, and then some not so happy.
I think my husband is one of those not so happy ones.
We can we'll play to the people who really do want to hear us back. If anybody didn't know, we were on a show called the Talking Equine Network. I believe that the website is still up there if they want to go back and listen to past episodes. We did quite a few. I think we did 20 to 30 episodes there. And then circumstances changed and we ended up back here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Horse Radio Network and what it's all about. The Horse Radio Network is going to be, this is the first show on the network, is going to be a series of shows all about horses. We're going to cover many different topics, subjects. We'll have shows that are specifically for specific disciplines. We're just doing all kinds of different things as far as the shows are concerned. They're all going to be fun. If anybody knows us, they know we don't take ourselves too seriously, and it's going to be a bit of an irreverent look at things. Now, the Stable Scoop Radio Show, talk a little bit about what we're doing specifically on this show.
Okay. Stable Scoop Radio Show is going to be a weekly show that will air every Friday. What makes this different than anything else out there is that it's put on by regular horse people for regular horse people.
The regular horse people.
We're going to talk about, it's different than the Talking Equine Show, which is, as Glenn said, the last show that he and I worked on, which focused on interviews with big name riders. So Stable Scoop is at the other end of the spectrum. It's going to be more of a variety show. And we'll have lots of cool segments. We think you're really going to love it. It'll run the gamut. Everything from news to stable spotlights, websites of the week, listener emails, and a whole lot more. Glenn, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what we're going to cover from the news perspective?
Yeah, well, every week we'll do a bit of news. We'll cover several stories, and then Helena and I will chat about it. We'll cover several stories. What's new, what's exciting, what's going on in the horse world. Maybe some stories, if they've listened to us before, they'll know that some of the stories will be a little off the beaten path, not always the mainstream stories. But the big story this week...
I thought you were going to say off color.
No, not off color.
That would be right up our alley.
There will be a little bit off the beaten path. There's a trail riding bad pun there. So the biggest news, of course, this week is the Olympics. And the Olympics are starting on Friday, the day that this episode posts. And I'll tell you what, I went to NBC.com. If you want to see the Olympics this year and the horse stuff, forget watching it on TV. Watch it on the internet. NBCOlympics.com has the coolest setup for watching the Olympics by video on there. And the neat part about it is they're going to cover all of the eventing, all of the dressage, the show jumping, are all going to be covered on the video portion of NBCOlympics.com. We all know they don't cover very much, and it always makes us mad every 4 years when they show 2 minutes of the eventing at the Olympics. And that's pretty much all you get to see. Well, here, you just go on there. there's a Watch Now button at the top of the. Click on that. You have to install a little piece of software, and it works. It's Silverlight. It's Microsoft Silverlight. You install it on your Mac or your PC. It worked great on both. I tried it on both today.
It's like a plugin.
It's a plugin, and it's actually
a plugin specific to NBC.
Right. Well, it's actually Silverlight, which is a Microsoft thing like Flash. So it'll download to your computer, and it's installed without any problems at all. And then you get this very nifty player that you can watch. It allows you to choose which sport you want to look, see what videos are already there, or watch them live. It's really cool how it's set up and how it works. And you can also watch 4 different sports at once. There's a player in there that you'll see that you can actually watch with 4 different little screens and pick which one you want to highlight. It's really cool. Today I was watching soccer's already started. Ladies soccer's already started over there, and I was watching 4 soccer games at once, which for me was way too much soccer. But it was pretty cool how it all worked and how you could go back and forth between the games. It was really neat.
Ooh. You know, they actually have a pretty cool feature up there about horse transport and some photos and videos of horses depart for Hong Kong.
Yes.
And, I've personally never seen a jet stall, but I think that's kind of cool that a little more background information.
They have a lot of neat stuff, too, about the riders. Down the links down the left, it says all sports. And under that, if you choose equestrian, there's all kinds of links and background about all the riders. It's really cool how they did it this year. The other cool thing is on the main link bar up at the top in the blue, there's one called TV and online listings. If you click on that, it's going to make you put in where you live so it knows locally what you'll see. But once you go in there, instead of clicking on TV, click on online, and it will show you by the day by day. You can pick a sport, and each day it'll show you what's on and what time. So you can watch it live, too.
And you can watch it, I think they're going to stream it live on the internet as well.
That's what I mean. You can watch it streaming live. Now, the streaming live on the internet will not have any commentary. It'll just be the raw feed. So you yeah, right, exactly. That's what I was thinking. You don't have to listen to some inane commentary about horses. You can, and I noticed that the first one actually is Friday night. Friday night at 7. I think it's 7:30 is the start of eventing dressage.
7:30 this Friday
night, the 8th. So that's actually happening online here the same time as the opening ceremonies. So they must have it delayed or on tape or something, or they have the opening ceremonies delayed. Might be the case. So tape your opening ceremonies on TV and watch the start of eventing on your computer.
And it might be a good idea too if you go to NBCOlympics.com/equestrian and bookmark it. This way, every time you launch your web browser, you can have this portal page for the equestrian sports right there, and pretty much everything you want to do with regard to streaming or watching the Olympics is right there at your fingertips.
That's a great idea. And it's funny because in the past we've all talked about how we haven't liked the NBC coverage of the Olympics on TV, but their web department I'm impressed with so far. Now we'll see if it crashes with everybody watching at the same time. So we'll see how long their website actually stays up. But the other cool thing is once you find a show on that listings, if you go to TV and online listings, once you find a show that you actually want to watch, you can click on it and get yourself a reminder by email or by text message. It'll send you a text message 30 minutes before the show starts. So you can set them all up ahead of time and keep getting text messages so you don't miss anything. If you're at work, all I have to say is just be careful not to get fired.
Yeah, everybody needs their jobs, right? Everybody needs
and they have
to pay for their horses.
They have 3 different levels of viewing the video and downloading the video. They have 3 different levels there. So you can choose which level you want, and it will depend on your speed and connection. So if you have a slower connection, they still have a video option for you.
Okay, good.
So I think that's a great thing. Check it out. Have fun with it for the next couple of weeks. And I think one of the other things we're going to be talking about, I'll let you go over, on each episode, we're going to have a stable spotlight.
That's right. Well, being that our name is Stable Scoop, we thought it only appropriate that we spend some time chatting with stable owners from across the country. So each week we will highlight a new stable. We'll talk with the stable manager or the barn owner and just talk about their lives, what they do. It will cover many different disciplines, from the backyard barn to the high-profile professional barn. You know what? What happens in every barn, pretty much everybody listening to this show is going to be able to relate to. You might find some ideas. You might learn some things that you didn't know about before. And you know what? You might call in and share some of your own ideas with us. So this is part of the Stable Scoop show that's really going to network and bring our listeners together. Somehow or another, we're all involved with some kind of stable. So I think the Stable Spotlight is going to be a really fun segment to this show.
And seeing that I live so close to the Kentucky Horse Park, we have the 2010 games coming up. I live in Lexington. Everybody around here is very excited. There's a lot of construction being done on the roads, on hotels, and at the horse park right now in preparation for the 2010 games. Every 2 weeks, every second episode for the next until 2010, we'll be having an update on the games, on the construction over at the horse park. I have some friends over there that are going to come on with us, and we'll go over what's going on, how the preparations are going, what's new. So I'm very excited that we're doing that segment and that people can look forward to hearing about the 2010 games. You know, Helena, they have counters all over Lexington. These big counters, digital counters that are counting down the days to the 2010 games.
Really?
It's a very big deal around here. They're spending over $80 million just at the horse park and renovations.
You know, I actually heard from a little bird that the town of Lexington, or maybe it's the city of Lexington, has made some changes to their bylaws that allow that or limit the type of construction that can go on because they don't want all kinds of buildings and things going up just for these games. Is that true?
Over near the park, that's true. Elsewhere in town, that's not true. But over near the park, they're not allowing anything to go up on it's Ironworks Parkway there. They're not allowing anything to go up on Ironworks at all. So if you get off the exit there and go to the horse park is right off and exit off the highway. You won't see any new construction there. Matter of fact, they were going to build a hotel right at the entrance to the horse park. They were going to build this big hotel, and it fell through, and we were all very happy it did.
Oh, okay.
I personally don't think they need a hotel right at the entrance to the horse park. We just thought it would have when you get off the exit there and view the horse park from the exit, it's beautiful because it sits down a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want to look at a hotel.
No, it's just beautiful the way it is now, and I just didn't want a hotel spoiling it. So all the locals here were very happy that fell through.
Are there plenty of hotels now that will accommodate visitor games?
There's a lot of hotels. Whether there's enough to accommodate what they're expecting, which is up to 1 million visitors, I don't know. My wife and I have actually thought about leaving town and renting out our house for that particular time. We thought we could probably go to Hawaii for about the same amount of money we could rent our house out for.
But then you'd miss the games.
Right, no, then we'd miss the games.
That's not an option.
And hopefully we'll be recording at the games. So.
That would be exciting.
Now, also, let's do a little veterinarian talk every once in a while, not every week, but every once in a while we're going to talk vets. What we're going to do is we have several big, anybody who knows Lexington at all, has been to the horse parks, knows that the biggest of the biggest as far as veterinary clinics and research facilities are down here. And so we have Rood and Riddle, Woodford, Haggard, all right down in this area. So we want to get some of the vets on to talk about the not necessarily to do like we did on Talking Equine, we did an Ask the Vets episode. We want to do more of a segment on what's new in the research, what are the new treatments. So that's what we want to concentrate on in this show. So I think that would be fascinating for people.
Great. And we are also going to have, as a regular segment, Website of the Week. So that's a weekly segment. And since Glenn and I are very much geeks, we will go out and highlight a very cool horse website each week. So for those of you who have a website, make sure it's neat and tidy because we're going to be out there looking for them. And we're going to talk about how easy they are to use, what they do for your business, if you have any cool pictures up there. your website really needs to work for you. So let's go out there and take a look at some horsey websites.
Cool, that'll be fun.
And this isn't just stables, actually. This is informational sites, fun sites, games, all kinds of cool sites.
Yeah, we're into the quirky, weird stuff too. And one of the other things we want to do, and that you'll find actually at the horseradionetwork.com site, is a list of all the equestrian blogs out there. There's tons of people now that are figuring out blogs and starting to write blogs about themselves, about their horses, about their barns, about their competing. And what we're going to do is just get them on. We'll chat with them. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So we'll try and get the good ones on, and basically talk about their blog and what they're doing, and hopefully we can get you interested in following some of them. Some of them are really cool. When I was doing the research into this, there's some out there that are fabulous that if you just knew about them, you'd probably follow them.
Because they're addicting. They're addicting.
Exactly.
Once you start to read one or two entries, then you can't wait to see what happens next.
Right. I mean, it's so cool. I got addicted to a couple of them, and I'm following a couple of them now. We'll actually talk about RSS and how you can follow them easier. We'll tell you the tricks to following blogs easier, where you don't even have to go to their website every day or every week.
Okay, now RSS is an area that I haven't had much experience with, and I'm guessing that most of our listeners are probably not comfortable with it either. So that'd be good, Glenn, if you could lead us through the RSS.
Good.
I'd be very happy.
No problem.
And another segment we're going to bring you every week. We're going to make it easy for you to be part of our show. We're going to feature listener voicemails and emails. You can email us at geeks@horseradionetwork.com. That's GEEAS @horseradionetwork.com. Or call and leave us a voicemail on the Stable Scoop voicemail at area code 270-803-0025.
Yeah, that's going to be fun because we're actually going to play those voicemails, some of them. The ones that are appropriate, we'll actually play them on the next week's show. So you'll be able to hear yourself on the show.
That's right. So your voice is going to be broadcast on the internet on the Stable Scoop radio show. So when you call and leave a voicemail, say nice things.
That's right.
Because we might just publish whatever it is you record.
And that's 270-803-0025.
Don't forget, it's geeks@horseradionetwork.com. We will read your emails on the air as well.
Good. And so we're anxious to hear from them about what they want to hear on the show, what we were talking about previously, if they agree or disagree with us, all of those things.
If you have a good story to tell, if you have interesting or unique things, or not so interesting or unique things, just everyday, regular, blah, 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 what happens in my stable, we want to hear about it.
That's why it's called Stable Scoop.
That's right.
And we'll be doing there are a ton more segments which we're not even going over today. And, one of the things we've been remiss in doing, Helena, is talking about ourselves and what experience we have and why anybody want to listen to us in the first place. So why don't you
I don't know. That's a good question.
Even after we tell this, they may not want to listen to us in the first place. But go ahead.
Why would anybody want to listen to us?
Let's hear about Helena.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Helena. That's me. I live in New England, and I hate the long, cold winters. I love horses. I have one husband and one daughter who's 5 and a half. And I ride a couple of horses. I pick all the hooves. And sometimes I teach a few lessons here and there, but mostly for fun. I ride out with the Myopia Hounds out of Hamilton, Mass. That's where I'm based. A lot of you may have heard of Hamilton because it was formerly the headquarters for the U.S. Equestrian Team.
Right down the street from your house, wasn't it?
Right down the yes. In fact, I can hack right over there. It's Gathering Farm. Pretty much everywhere you go in Hamilton, there is a stool to jump or a trail that will get you from here to there. It's actually a really great place for a horse person to live.
Except for the winters.
The other good thing, the winters are tough, but you know what? Everybody goes down to Aiken, so who knows? Maybe I'll jump on that bandwagon.
So now you said it's that just have a question here. The old headquarters there, that's Gathering Farm now. What do they use it for now?
Right. Now it's a boarding stable, and mostly eventers and dressage. Actually, a little bit of everything is there. The same high quality standards that they had years ago, just obviously a little less high profile now.
And an absolutely beautiful place.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can't be. There's one gorgeous strip of countryside up here in New England. It does make, for the 9 months or the 8 months out of the year that beautiful up here, it makes it worth living through 4 months of cold.
Okay,
and
I'll
snow.
believe you on that one.
Yeah, and we get to go on sleigh rides. There's a lot of driving people up here too. A lot of driving people. That's about that's me.
And then
I'm just your average, everyday horse person who likes to chat.
And we should mention that you're a geek. You do build horsey websites for people.
Oh, okay, if I must. Yes. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer of a small marketing firm called The Works, and we focus on websites and marketing pieces for horse businesses. So what we like to do is help people who are experts in horses get a leg up on their business and make a couple of bucks doing it.
And that's at thebarnworks.com, right?
That's right.
Oh, cool.
And what about you?
And I am Glenn the Geek. There are those of you out there that might remember me from years ago from the Horse Stuff Company. Used to own and run the Horse Stuff Company. Those of you that do remember from there, remember that we used to have the most humorous equestrian tax site on the internet. All the descriptions were funny and not everything was a little out of the ordinary. And then I worked for a number of years, for Bit of Britain. Started what most people will recognize as tackoftheday.com. I was the original geek at tackoftheday.com for 2 years. So all of that stupid humor you can credit to me for 2 years. But now, for the last year, you can credit it to Helena because she is the geek now for tackoftheday.com. Helena and I also did a show called the Talking Equine Network Show, where we interviewed all the big names and riders in the eventing world. And as I said, you can find that at talkingequine.com. You can find the old shows if you want to listen back. They're still good, even after all this time.
Yeah, and great interviews.
Yes, some really good interviews.
Yeah, we got David O'Connor on there and Person.
I'm also been a horse person for the last 20 years. However, I married it. My wife was the horse person, and then after we owned a farm for a number of years with 20 horses, I learned a lot about horses and became interested in them. I'm a driver. I drive ponies and draft horses, like both ends of the scale. Still work with the draft horses over here. I still help out with the draft horses over here at the Kentucky Horse Park, which is kind of fun. Matter of fact, the picture of me on the website is with Charlie. He's the old guy at the Kentucky Horse Park. He's a Percheron, about 24 years old. He's a retired Percheron. He's my buddy. I help take care of Charlie.
He's a cutesy pie.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yes, he is huge. His head is
about the size of from your torso.
I know. He's from the top of my head to like my waist is his head. You'll see it in the picture. It actually is kind of funny. He's actually not as big as some of the other Percherons they have there, but he is a big guy.
Now, how old did you say he is?
He's 24.
He's 24. And I see in the picture that you've got a chain over his nose.
They do that. That's required at the horse park for all the draft horses that are led around have to have chains. Because it's just a requirement of the horse park. Probably something to do with their insurance or something.
Okay.
So they just do
you figured if after 24 years he hasn't gotten his yayas
he
out.
He doesn't need a chain at all. As a matter of fact, we had to. I'm holding his head up because he kept wanting to sleep and fall asleep during the picture, and his head kept dropping. So that's me holding his head up is what I'm doing. No, but that's why the chain in the picture. I've been doing this a long time. I have fun in the horse world and I've actually been in the retail side of it for a lot of years. So we'll be talking a little tack too as we go along here. And my wife actually is still a retail manager for a store here in Lexington. So we're still in the retail side as well.
Mm-hmm. And totally immersed in the horse world.
That's right. So we're just going to share a little bit about what we know. We're regular horse folks wanting to talk about horses, and that's what we're going to do here. There's a number of ways that everybody can listen. One is on the website at stablescoop.com. You'll find there links to our various episodes. When you go to that episode, you'll see a player right on the computer. You can just start playing. It's a little flash player. And so you can play it right off the website. A lot of people do that when they're at work. I'm not responsible. But feel free. It's up to you. We do put show notes. Anything we talk about in the show, we'll put links and show notes and pictures or whatever we talk about that you might go, oh, you listened on your iPod and then you were riding your horse and you went back and said, oh, what was that again? You just go, rather than re-listening to the show, they can just go to the show notes there on the website at stablescoop.com and you can check out the link and just follow it from there. It makes it real easy. Also on the Stable Scoop site, if you'd rather listen on your iPod or your MP3 player, you'll find a link to download or to subscribe to the show. So you can subscribe through iTunes to our show, have it automatically downloaded and synced to your iPod, or you can, if you use another subscription service for podcasts, you can use that, or you can simply just download it to your desktop and play it anytime you want, or move it over to your iPod or your MP3 player.
So if I subscribe, if I have a subscription through iTunes for the Stable Scoop radio show, that means every time I plug in and sync up my iPod, it'll automatically download an episode for me?
If there's a new episode, it'll automatically do that. Yep.
Oh,
so you never even
great.
really have to come to our site, although we really want you to. So
all you need to do is plug in your iPod and download as normal.
Yep, that's correct.
Cool.
So that's really neat. We also have a couple on horseradionetwork.com. You'll find a couple of pages, informational pages on there about other equine podcasts. There's not that many of them, which is one of the reasons that we wanted to bring this medium to you and have it available to you. But there are a couple other podcasts, and we have them highlighted on there, and hopefully we'll be talking to their hosts as we go along. Plus, we also have a page that lists all the blogs that are available, or at least all the ones we could find that are about horses and equestrian activities. So you'll find that on there too, a couple good references. Now, the first official episode will be live. We'll be coming to you in 2 weeks with the first official episode, and that'll be live on August 22nd. So subscribe.
That's a Friday.
Right. I'll be posted every Friday. So subscribe on your iPod, put a reminder on your calendar. We'll be back, and we'll be rolling on August 22nd, and then we'll be weekly thereafter.
Get everything set up.
Right.
And bookmark horseradionetwork.com and Stable Scoop. What is it?
StableScoop.com. It's simple. That one's easy. Nobody's going to forget that one. StableScoop.com, and it's spelled just like it sounds. No funny spelling. It's just the way it is.
That's good, because I've been riding a 4.5-year-old lately, and when I get off of him, everything has to be easy.
So I did have somebody ask me, is the scoop, are we referring to the pitchfork or the scoop that's in the feed bin?
Ooh.
And I said, well, it's neither of those. It's more like a scoop on a news story. We have the scoop. So I got out of answering that.
I think of it as the, it's sort of a play on words. It's the feed scoop, because I don't scoop poop. I mean, I do scoop poop, but I don't think scooping. I think of it as picking
or mucking,
right.
But
I definitely scoop feed.
Well, there you go. Well, we're going to scoop information and fun.
But you know what? That's where all the good talking happens, is in the feed room.
That's right.
It's in the grain room when you're setting up or breakfast.
It's just like the house. It's the kitchen of the barn.
Yes, it is. That's a good perspective.
Yeah, I never thought about that before. But all the talking takes place when you have company in the kitchen. Well, that's just the kitchen of the barn. Hey, we made up a new one.
Around food.
Think about that. All right, Helena, we will see you in 2 weeks, and we look forward to being with you every week after that.
We hope that you tell all your friends about the Stable Scoop radio show, send them the link, log on, listen, and talk to us. Remember, geeks@horseradionetwork.com, or leave us a voicemail at 270-803-0025.
Enjoy the Olympics, everybody.
Take care.